Was being born in the US enough to make you an American citizen? The unbelievable story of how one son of Chinese immigrants made history fighting for birthright citizenship. Stay tuned and be sure to subscribe to uncover this overlooked civil rights case that went all the way to the Supreme Court. Nearing home was Wong Kim, Arkansas. The young cook saw the buildings clustered on the steep hills of San Francisco, the city he had spent most of his life in and where he was born, as the steamship Coptic passed through the Golden Gate on an August day in 1895. The American-born son of Chinese immigrants, who had spent nearly a year visiting family in China, was returning to the United States and clutched the one-page typewritten document he thought would guarantee his entry into a nation that had closed its doors to anyone who looked, dressed, or spoke like him. In the center of San Francisco's Chinatown, Wong was born in 1873 above his father's merchant establishment on Sacramento Street. Tens of thousands of Chinese immigrants arrived in the United States in the middle of the 1800s, including Wong's parents, to work on farms that fed the expanding population in the West, supply prospectors seeking riches during the California Gold Rush, and construct the railroads that connected the nation. American sentiments toward Chinese immigrants were toughened in the years after the Panic of 1873 due to a catastrophic financial collapse. Chinese immigrants were accused by the white working class for taking their jobs and causing their economic problems. Throughout Wong's formative years in San Francisco, the cry "The Chinese must go" frequently served as a rallying cry. The Chinese Exclusion Act, signed by President Chester A. Arthur in 1882, made it illegal for Chinese laborers to enter the nation and obtain U.S. citizenship. The rule represented the first instance in which the United States has barred a class of immigrants on the grounds of race or nationality, even though Chinese professionals and merchants may still enter the nation. For hundreds of Chinese immigrants, including Wong's family, the backlash proved to be too much, and they decided to return across the Pacific Ocean in 1890. But the adolescent was still pulled to his native country, and later that year, Wong made a trouble-free return to San Francisco. After a second trip to China 5 years later, Wong anticipated a smooth return to the United States. After all, he had made the necessary preparations for an identity paper before leaving San Francisco in November 1894. A notary public and 3 white San Francisco citizens certified that he was born in the city and was well known to them on the one-page typewritten sheet of paper that had his portrait pasted to the middle. When Wong took the document to John Wise, the San Francisco customs collector who oversaw immigration into the port, he was turned away even though the document had been stamped and signed by an inspector when he had left the city. Despite Wong's American origin, Wise considered him no more a citizen than the multitudes of Chinese laborers he forbade from entering the country under any legal circumstances. Wong was kept in custody for months, transferred from ship to ship while docked in San Francisco Bay. But instead of bowing to Wise's judgment, he chose to confront the U.S. government. Wong filed a petition of habeas corpus, but the U.S. attorney objected, stating that Wong Kim Ark was always a Chinese person due to his race, language, color, and clothing. The 14th Amendment, which was passed in 1868 and gave African Americans and liberated slaves equal civil and legal rights following the Civil War, was at the center of the case. Lower courts similarly construed the first sentence of the amendment: all persons born or naturalized in the United States, and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, are citizens of the United States, as providing citizenship to foreign nationals' offspring born on American soil. Opponents of birthright citizenship inside the federal government considered the legal action as a test case that they could take all the way to the Supreme Court to overturn the decision made by U.S. District Judge William Morrow, who sided with Wong and declared him an American citizen, ordering his release. The Supreme Court heard oral arguments in the United States v. Wong Kim Ark case in March 1897. The justices disagreed about whether jus sanguinis, or right of blood, or jus soli, or right of the soil, should serve as the foundation for American citizenship. Wang was a Chinese person and a subject of the Emperor of China, according to government attorneys, since his parents were subjects of the Emperor of China through bloodlines. In a 6-2 ruling on March 28, 1898, the court declared its support for Wang and upheld the citizenship rights of immigrant children born in the country. As per the court's ruling, Wang Kimark's natural-born American citizenship has not been revoked or forfeited due to any events that have occurred since his birth. Justice Horace Gray's majority opinion, which stated that the amendment, in clear words and in manifest intent, includes the children born within the territory of the United States, of all other persons, of whatever race or color, domiciled within the United States, further confirmed that the amendment's reach extended beyond African Americans. Chief Justice Melville Fuller dissented, stating that the moral relations of his parentage, not the matter of an inanimate piece of land, is the true bond which connects the child with the body politic. A turning point in immigration law was reached with the Supreme Court's decision and Wang's choice to challenge the federal government. If the court had ruled in favor of the federal government, sons and daughters of Chinese immigrant laborers who were denied citizenship under the Chinese Exclusion Act would not have had a legal path to naturalization, unlike children of white immigrants at the turn of the 20th century. While this overlooked case was a milestone for civil rights, debates around immigration and citizenship continue today. Wang's story remains an inspiring example of one man's fight for justice and equality against all odds. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share to help bring to light more hidden stories from history. Thanks for watching.